I want to make my position crystal clear. I fight alongside Javier Becerra in California, and I push Uber and Lyft to bring better condition for drivers and gig workers to the table. Javier Becerra, don't let your guard down. Keep on clubbing, keep on fighting. We will win this fight. Here's a great video.
To stop classifying their drivers as independent contractors. Joining us now is the Attorney General for the state of California, Javier Becerra. Javier, Mr. Attorney General, thank you so much for being with us this morning. Now, Uber and Lyft's argument is that their drivers don't actually want to be treated as employees because it takes away their flexibility. Is that correct?
It's a bogus argument, and the court saw straight through that. What worker doesn't want to have access to paid sick leave? What worker doesn't want to have unemployment insurance at a time of COVID-19 crisis? What worker doesn't want to know that they'll get paid for overtime if they work 60 hours in a week or 12 hours in a day? It's a bogus argument, and what's worse about the argument is that Uber and Lyft try to present a false choice. You don't have to give up those rights and those benefits to have flexibility.
True.
There's nothing in California law that requires a company to remove flexibility in order for these people
True.
to be classified as
It's one of the big lies.
and get those rights.
Okay, so if Uber and Lyft, though, they ultimately decide to shut down their apps in California versus bringing on 100,000 plus drivers as employees, it seems to me like everyone loses.
Hey, where are you guys?
Drivers and riders in the state. So are you worried that that could sort of shift the sentiment here and legislation AB 5 could be seen as a negative thing instead of a positive one?
You realize what you just said.
Hey.
What the example you're portraying here, that the only way for Uber and Lyft to operate successfully is to deny their workers their rights and provide them no benefits, to mistreat the workers. I just don't think that's a business model that leads to a lot of success. They're saying that the only way they can make money is to take it away from workers by not paying them their benefits. There was no reason why, for example, during the COVID-19 pandemic, that in the CARES bill that the Congress passed to give relief to a whole bunch of Americans, millions of Americans who lost their jobs, that taxpayers had to foot the bill to provide unemployment insurance to Lyft and Uber drivers because they didn't have any, because Uber and Lyft didn't provide any. And so it's just not, it's a bogus argument to say that Uber and Lyft will leave California simply because they have to abide by the law.
I'll never leave California.
You don't think that they'll do that? You don't think they'll actually go that far?
Never.
Any business model that relies on shortchanging workers in order to make it probably shouldn't be anywhere, whether California or otherwise. And
I agree.
I don't believe that that's what it takes for Uber and Lyft to make a living.
Mr. Attorney General, yesterday, Uber's CEO, or at least in the past couple of days, called for a sort of new model for benefits and support for gig economy workers. Now, granted, what he's presenting has them remaining as contractors with some guaranteed benefits, but I imagine a new model could work any number of ways. They could be employees, and there could be different models for how benefits are paid for. Has anyone approached you about that, and have those conversations moved anywhere, or is this more just posturing from the companies about presenting new ideas that aren't really being talked about?
Well, I think you do have to wonder, why is it that it takes 10 years, more than 10 years, and a lawsuit for two innovative companies to come up with a new idea on how to provide their employees with the benefits that they're entitled to? Look, there's nothing that stops Uber and Lyft from providing these benefits and services right now, which these employees are entitled to, which the court in California recognized. There are conversations going on. I think certainly these companies want to move themselves out of this legal predicament.
Yeah.
I believe they want to continue to do business in the largest
Good, there's
state
conversations going on. That's a good thing.
California. But they got to do it the right way. You got to follow the rules. And they were caught. They've been doing this the wrong way for too long. And it's cost American workers in California, and it's cost our taxpayers. Because, as I just said, in the case of the CARES Act, where we provided unemployment benefits,
California taxpayers bailed them out, so vote no on Prop 22.
There's no reason why taxpayers should have to do what companies are required by law to do.
A backseat to the legal proceedings. Did you get the sense that the companies and your side are perhaps trying to figure out where the starting line is and where the leverage is for those conversations, or are they substantive at this point?
Well, I'm not. I can't tell you any conversations we're engaged in with regard to this lawsuit, but I've heard, as you have heard, that there are conversations occurring among a number of folks, both in the industry and outside, to try to resolve the situation.
We're trying to resolve it. Drivers are trying to resolve it.
The law is clear. If you don't give that individual who does work for you that independence, you can't classify them as independent contractors. If you essentially control their activities to the point where they are employees, you got to treat them like employees.
And that's the biggest lie, that they make you believe you're an independent contractor.
Rights and benefits. And for too many years now, both Lyft and Uber have been evading the law, and they got caught. And the judge made it very clear that it's time for them to join the rest of the business world
and pay up
the right way.
Mr. Attorney General, you said that these companies are innovative. They should find ways to make their drivers employees, but they're already bleeding billions of dollars, and some argue in the marketplace that they just don't have the money to turn everyone into an employee. And you also say that they were caught, but there's a number of exemptions under AB 5, including dentists, lawyers, construction contractors. Why are you making the distinction between drivers and others in other independent contractors?
So, Deirdre, so to give you a complete answer here, I'd love you to show me these execs at Uber and Lyft, show me where they live and what kind of car they drive and how they travel around the world. And I guarantee you they're not doing it the way a small business that might be bleeding money would do it. And so if they're really, truly bleeding money, it's not because their workers are entitled to have their protections and their compensation be fair and according to the law. But to the point of how they're doing business, if they're, whether it's fair to treat them one way or the other, California is pretty clear. If you are working for a company and doing essentially their bidding, you're an employee. If you are truly independent of that company, and there's a test to make it clear if they are or not, then you're an independent contractor.
Correct.
And you're responsible for those benefits and protections, not the company that reaches a contract with you as an independent contractor. I think it's pretty clear. The judge wasn't deceived at all. He made it very clear that he said the harms are not mere abstractions. They represent real harms to real working people.
Good, really good interview there. Quick shout out to my sponsor, Cover, Kover, gig protection plan. Anyone working for these companies, for as little as $7 per month, you are protected by this gig protection plan. Follow the link beneath my video. Get 1 month free. Just try it out for a month. Try it, play with the dashboard, see what they offer you. The bottom line is, if you get deactivated, they have a legal arm called LegalRideshare. They'll send out the legal letters, get you back into the game. If you have an accident, if your car is totaled or in the workshop, they kick in, cover up to 80% of your lost earnings. And then on the deactivation side, as I said, their partner is LegalRideshare.com in Chicago. Very well laid out on the website, exactly what they do for you. And it's really important to mention the other services that LegalRideshare.com in Chicago provides. And those are, if you get injured, right? If you get injured in an accident, they go after the insurance company. They get you those damages. If your car is totaled, if you have property damage, they will go after, they will handle the insurance claim and follow up with the insurance company to make sure that you get paid for your injury, for your property damage. Now, to take it one step further, If you're injured, God forbid, I hope you never are, but you are at that moment losing wages. So they have to go after those lost wages with that insurance company and get you covered on all three sides, for your injury, for your destroyed vehicle, for your broken vehicle, and for your lost wages. Very, very simple formula, not hard to understand. You just jump over to LegalRideshare.com, and again, if you are looking for a comprehensive gig protection plan, I highly, highly advise you look up cova.com. The link is underneath my video. And do feel free to comment on this article that I just shared with you, the video, the interview with Javier Becerra. Again, I stand firmly behind the AG and pushing for no on Proposition 22. Have a great day.